everybody. It's Allie, and welcome to our Y&R Chat for Sunday, January 1st, 2023.
Oh my God, Crystal. Look at these three people singing Auld Lang Syne in the middle of the hotel lobby. They are so drunk. Somebody said he's like a rock star or something, but I've never heard of him. Okay, I have to get a video of this for my TikTok. Hashtag boomers. Hashtag happy new weird. Auld Lang Syne in the middle of the hotel lobby. Everyone else in the background completely oblivious to it, except for my imaginary 22-year-old who is totally tuned in to the weirdness of it all. What do you think is more unbelievable? That Danny Romalatti hit all of the town's hottest spots and didn't even get asked to sign one autograph this week? Or that three people would spontaneously know all of the words to Auld Lang Syne? Like the second verses. They even knew the second verses after having a couple of glasses of champagne. I'm not buying it. Oh. But how about that? Old acquaintances had a chance to come together just by chance to spend New Year's Eve together. Oh, I love it. You know, I love it. Well, first of all, Danny is a star. His big, charming smile. I'm so in love with him. Still. Tracy has the voice of an angel. And Lauren was like a sexy siren. I really love Lauren's singing voice. I wish I could hear that more often. I'm going to have to go and check to see if she has any music that she's released. I don't know. I just didn't realize her voice was as great as it is. She really stood out to me in those scenes. In some related news, Michael got a haircut. Does everybody feel better? So many comments about Michael's hair over the course of 2022. Now, yes, it's gray, but it's short. Wondering if everybody feels better now that that's been taken care of. I had actually totally forgotten that Michael gave Danny a kidney. Oh, that old trick. Redeem your villain by having him donate an organ. It's in the soap opera handbook. And Michael and Adam, I guess, are in the same club there. Old acquaintances, indeed. The only person missing from our Rat Pack reunion was Cricket. She had to read about the whole thing on Instagram. Do you think that Christine follows? Does she follow Phyllis the Red on social media? Did you notice Phyllis's handle on social media is Phyllis the Red? And Christine was looking at it, but she can't follow Phyllis. Maybe she follows Daniel. How did she see that picture? That's my question. Maybe she follows hashtag Danny Romalatti. That's naughty. Her secret following of hashtag Danny Romalatti and all things Danny Romalatti. Oh, I love this. This is like the highlight of my week. All of the tender memories came flooding into Christine's mind, sitting alone at some cabin on some snowy mountaintop, waiting for Paul to come in from chopping wood or whatever he's doing. But she was just all alone there on New Year's Eve. Just thinking about this long, painful history between her and her ex-husband, who was one of the greatest loves of her lifetime, seeing a picture of Phyllis with Danny and remembering how Phyllis totally tore them apart. That flashback where Danny revealed that he had slept with a woman who had made threats and that he had a child with her. Oh, it took me right back. And the moment when Christine said, "Do you have a son or a daughter?" And he said, "I have a son." And she just immediately welled up into tears and said, "Get out." Ugh. That was so human. I mean, she was curious for the information, but she didn't realize how much it was going to hurt. And I didn't remember that Danny just left. He divorced her without any real explanation, and now he was coming back to tell the story of Phyllis. Oh, I really connected this week with my own memories of how completely and totally Phyllis destroyed Danny and Christine. I mean, they were never the same after that. I mean, they were never the same. Apparently he left and didn't tell her the story until later. But it took Danny years of trying to get her back. I mean, he tried for so long, but her heart was so broken. And I think Christine was just never going to let that happen again. So she kept choosing Paul. She chose Paul over and over. And I always felt like, I guess maybe it's similar to what's going on with Sally and Nick and Adam right now. I always felt like Chris really wanted Danny, but Paul was the safer choice. And maybe that's where Sally's head is right now. Maybe she really wants Adam, but feels like Nick is the safer choice. But even after Phyllis broke Danny and Christine up, Phyllis still couldn't let it go. She still continued to harass Christine, even tried to kill Christine. But yeah, she can't believe that everyone else is giving Diane a second chance. Okay. That hit home a couple of points this week. I really enjoyed the glam club scene with Danny and Phyllis and Daniel. Some of the looks between Danny and Phyllis were so totally hilarious. I was definitely LOLing because Phyllis was comforting Daniel by saying, "Well, we all have moments of jealousy." And Danny just shot her a look like, yeah. It was like a really sharp and pointed death stare and like, uh-huh. There was a couple of really sharp and pointed death stares. Oh, and she knew it too. She knew what she was saying. It was so good. It really acknowledged the history there. I just felt like both actors totally killed that scene. And the characters came to terms at the very end. Danny told Phyllis that he feels he never should have taken Daniel away from her all those years ago. I'm surprised that he admitted that he regrets that. That's surprising because he seemed totally justified at the time. But then he also told Phyllis that she did a really great job of finishing the job of raising Daniel. It was just a great connection between them after so much water had gone under that bridge. Danny was very kind of sweetly supportive of Phyllis, especially her going to work for Daniel. Danny actually held Phyllis's hand and said, "You've come a long way, and this job seems like it would be perfect for you." He really seemed to be looking at her like a friend and genuinely seemed to want to help her find a happier path. I think everybody needs a little push now and then, and maybe Danny saw that that's what Phyllis needed, because Phyllis is still holding out hope that Summer will invite her back to Marquette, and that's just not going to be the case. Phyllis told Summer this week, "I guess I've lost you. I realized that I've lost you, but it's because you turned your back on me. You break my heart." you turn your back on me. And I did feel for Phyllis in those scenes, because even though I think Phyllis is being hypocritical when it comes to Diane, I also do think that Kyle and Summer are giving Diane a lot of leeway. And it looks like maybe Summer is going to realize that next week. Phyllis makes a good point. Jeremy Stark and all the mess of Jeremy Stark being in Genoa City is because of Diane's past decisions. She didn't have to fake her own death. She didn't have to abandon Kyle. And she was vulnerable to Jeremy because she was using a fake identity, which he was threatening to expose. So Phyllis isn't exactly wrong about Diane, even though she isn't exactly right either. Phyllis and Danny were also very supportive of Daniel this week. Daniel finally revealed that what really destroyed his relationship with Heather, and therefore Lucy, was jealousy. His career took a nosedive while Heather's career was starting to thrive. And so he got jealous, he got angry, and he pushed them away until they were gone. Heather took a job in Europe. Lucy got into a boarding school nearby. But as Phyllis and Danny pointed out, being at odds with Heather doesn't mean he has to be at odds with his daughter. He didn't even try to call her on Christmas. I guess he's just focusing all his efforts on making a success of himself, but his daughter needs a father now. I don't know. Maybe I want Y&R to cast Lucy. She's the demon seed of Daisy Carter, niece of Sheila Carter. I think she could be just what this show needs to villain us into the new year. Maybe Lucy could push Lily down a flight of stairs or something. No, never mind. Not that. Lily's got enough headache right now. Oh, and heartache. That scene in the park with Lily and Billy really broke my heart. Oh. Lily told Billy that she thinks they need some space, and I think that's the right move. I think they need to get some physical space between them to match the emotional space that's grown between them. Lily told him, "It feels like we always had work in common, but now that we don't have work in common, it feels like we've lost the spark that brought us together in the first place, and I don't know what's left." I'm not so sure that spark is the problem between Billy and Lily. I think Billy is the problem with Billy and Lily. I think that Lily has been more than patient with him. He dipped out of his role at Chancellor Winters. Fine, we can call that a career move. We can't fault him for that. But then he didn't make a career move. He quit his job to just hang around Chelsea all the time. That's the real problem. The real problem is that he's spending all of his time with another woman. He puts all of his effort into Chelsea's life right now and none into his relationship with Lily. If he put half as much effort into the New Year's Eve plans with Lily as he did with Connor's egg drop, there wouldn't be a problem. Is anyone else astonished by the irony that Billy and Chelsea are working on a project for Connor in which you must drop an egg from a high place and try to cushion it from breaking? I mean, seriously? Did Y&R know what they were doing there, or am I just enough of a smart aleck to make that connection? I know. Let's take the egg up to the top of the Grand Phoenix Hotel, let it have a good scream, and then when it tries to roll off the edge, Billy can grab it and save it at the last minute. A plus, A plus, A plus. And then we can take the egg around town to make amends to the other eggs that were cracked during the experimentation process. What do you think about that? Walnut Grove, I think we have a winner. Every week, I flip back and forth between love and hate with Tucker. And this week it was all in the same episode. I hated his big, stupid Santa sack entrance into the Abbott home. I was so embarrassed for Ashley. The guy had a mistletoe on his Santa hat, too. Ugh, that's so sleazy. And then he dared to hand Tracy a Christmas present. Ugh, he is not fit to write Tracy's name on his Christmas shopping list. Knowing Tracy, she probably felt bad accepting his gift when she didn't get him anything. That's just the kind of person she is. So, yeah, that was a huge miss for me. But then I loved seeing Ashley and Tucker letting themselves into the society kitchen. And after freezing outside in that Wisconsin bitter cold, making themselves a nice warm salad. Salad. That is just what I want to warm the cockles. But Ashley went to great pains to make the perfect salad dressing instead of just grabbing one off the shelf. And Tucker stood there chopping his carrots. Oh, I think Ashley might want to chop his carrots. If she knew he'd been sleeping with Audra just yesterday, it was like yesterday sleeping with Audra, today chopping carrots with Ashley. I feel like I could really start to like Tucker and Ashley. Y&R is giving them a lot of airtime. Their courtship is getting a lot of attention. And I want it. But it is hard to believe that Tucker is sincere about Ashley when he's dressing someone else's salad on the side. I don't know. Maybe Ashley is using him just as much as he is using her. Because when Jack saw Ashley kissing Tucker on the Abbott doorstep, she told him, just trust me for once. So maybe Ashley does have a plan, and maybe she's just having some fun letting it play out. Nate and Devon's Christmas ceasefire. I think this is the first time that I've ever been rooting against a reconciliation. I love Devon and Nate as rivals. I mean, I see them as two sides of a coin in a way. And I guess I want to keep flipping that coin. I want years of flipping this coin between Devon and Nate. In fact, I hope Y&R comes up with something new for them to fight about for 2023. The awkward Christmas setup that Abby and Elena came up with was definitely a close call. They seem to be getting along, and I don't really want these two to be drinking wine and getting along too much, walking down memory lane. I thought it was great, though, talking about Drusilla and Olivia and their little matching holiday dresses. I don't want Nate, and maybe it's okay that Nate and Devon get along for one day. I just don't want them to bury the hatchet for too long. But it was a nice reminder that, these are their mothers. And I have to give Y&R some big props for painting that particular portrait. I like the idea of little Drew and little Liv rebelling in ruffles. Aww. Well, Abby spent her holiday bare-shouldered in Devon's apartment. I'll just go ahead and put on this. She could put on a turtleneck, and she didn't. She said, I'm giving shoulders. Let him eat shoulders. I still want there to be more turmoil between Abby and Chance still. I'm actually kind of liking seeing Abby and Chance doing the awkward Dom exchange at Devon's place. I want the awkwardness to stay there because it actually felt more real. It doesn't feel real that Chance's feelings for Abby just disappeared and he's just Mr. Okay with everything now. So I liked the moment where some jealousy and resentment flared up. Chance said, okay, well, I guess we better all get used to each other. You know, he's being Mr. Okay with everything. We'll just get used to each other, and I'll go over and pick Dom's up from Devon's house, even though last time I went over there, he was totally sleeping with my wife. So Chance goes to pick up the kid, but it was harder than he thought it was going to be. Good. Devon tried to avoid the whole thing. He was like, yeah, bygones, but later. I don't want to be here for it today. I've had enough awkward holiday moments for 1 year. But then he happened to come home right as Chance was wheeling Dom away, and it was pretty chilly between them. Pretty chilly between Devon and Chance, but then the second those elevator doors closed, it was nice and warm and toasty for Abby and Devon in each other's arms. So Abby and Devon were totally together over the holidays, and Chance spent his New Year's talking with Sharon about Abby, about Ray, about being in a transition period from one part of your life to another. It was a nice, warm conversation. It was comfortable and friendly, but it was nothing to write home about yet. Last week, I asked you to predict whether or not you think Chance and Sharon are going to become romantic. 56% of you voted romance. Just 44% saying, no, I think they're just friends. So the majority of people are seeing romance between Sharon and Chance. I think Southside Granny makes the best argument for that by simply saying, has Sharon ever had a male friend that didn't lead to romance? Touche! Yeah, I think you're right. But I still voted just friends. I voted that Chance and Sharon are going to be just friends, but it's only because my vote is on the wings of a bird of hope. I want to believe that Y&R has chosen to end 2022 with a hint about where we will be at the end of 2023, and that is Nick and Sharon's wedding. That's what I want. Nick and Sharon ended 2022 together sitting at the coffee house, and I'm hoping for their wedding at the end of 2023. That's right. That way Sharon can have 2 wedding anniversaries on the same date. Marrying Ray and Nick on the same date, just a couple of years apart. Now, how about that? And now that I think about it, I think it's all working out just perfectly for what I would want to see happen. Because Sharon, after Ray's death, could not just jump right into Nick's arms. So Y&R popped Nick into this triangle with Adam and Sally while Sharon took some time to grieve. Then they're starting to slowly have her with a rebound relationship with Chance. So now by the time that Sally's baby is here and is revealed to be Adam's, the time will be just right for the Nick and Sharon reunion of my dreams. Who wants a bite of my ooey gooey cinnamon roll?
It's the size of my head, and it's got frosting dripping out of it. Oh, ooh, there's a little bit of my slobber on the side of it. I'll just lick that off real quick. Want some? No, thanks. I'll just take this peppermint candy and try to keep my guts down. Where was Chloe even going to put that cinnamon roll? It was huge. It was cartoonishly huge, and she is so petite. You cannot eat a cinnamon roll of that size and then fit into your leather corset top. I call BS. I don't even think she really did eat that cinnamon roll. I couldn't tell if Sally was sick from being pregnant or if she was just sick of Chloe's yakking week after week. Same story. I actually loved it when Chloe said, "Look, I don't want to be everyone's mom, but we have a job to do." I bet that's how she really does feel. I mean, Sally later asked Chloe to go get her a pregnancy test. I mean, she is Sally's mom at this point. She's the de facto mom. I think Sally may need to be grounded for not taking her birth control pills. Ooh, naughty. I'm not surprised, though. Do you guys remember when she missed that meeting that one time? She missed that one meeting, and she missed a couple of birth control pills. We should have seen this coming. Well, I guess next week we'll get the positive pregnancy test, and then we're off to the races. How long's it going to be? Can we just do a paternity test now? Can Sally swab something or pee on something and just let us know as soon as possible who the baby daddy is so that we don't have to go through the same waffling back and forth between Nick and Adam that we've been going through for months now? I just feel like I'm stuck in a hamster wheel with this storyline and I can't get out. Will somebody just wake me up when it's time to hand Adam the baby? Victor made the rounds this week to dispense some fatherly advice to his children. He had a long conversation with Adam at Society, both kind of trying to lure Adam back into the family, but also chastising him for his life decisions, saying something about how he's got nothing and it's all of his own doing. Don't worry, I'm sure that Victor will start singing a different tune when he learns that there's a new heir to be had. Because whether the baby is Adam's or Nick's, whether it's a boy or a girl, it still has a mustache. This is disappointing to me because Nick and Adam almost seem to be bonding for a moment. They had this moment at the bar where they were just getting along over the fact that working for Dad means that Dad thinks he gets to put his fingerprints all over your life. It was a good talk. I mean, Nick knew that, and then he forgot it, and now he's relearning it. And Adam's had to relearn it a couple of times, too. It just felt like for a second they were almost like brothers, not just business acquaintances, which is how they feel most of the time. It's just that I feel like Nick and Adam had potential to be friends there for a minute, if not for Sally and the soon-to-be baby. But Victor doesn't like Sally. Victor scolded Nick this week for getting involved with someone of Sally's kind. Yeah, Sally's kind. The kind that fakes a deathly illness to get a guy. Flash back to his wife, Nikki, doing that same thing to him. Lifting herself out of that coffin in the ranch living room. Yeah, that kind. And then Victor warned Victoria not to get ahead of her restlessness. She wants to make big moves. Sounds like she's still got a Chancellor Winter's takeover on her mind, but Victor tells her to cool it off a bit. I don't know. It feels like months and months ago we were hinted when Victoria went on her corporate shopping spree that she might end up making some unwise business decisions, doing something that might put the company in peril. But that didn't end up happening because we got a couple of hints that Victoria might be overspending, and then nothing happened. The whole thing went away. The Chancellor Winter's plot fizzled out, and now Victoria seems to be saying again that she wants more acquisitions. I think it's pretty clear that the only acquisition Victoria is worried about right now is Nate. I actually had a good idea for an acquisition this week. How about Victoria buying a cabin next door to the Abbott cabin, and then every winter we can take turns letting characters from both families go up there for some seasonal snuggles. Christmas at the Abbott cabin. Oh, does it have to end? I could stay at the cabin forever, or at least all winter. How about a New Year's overnight rendezvous for Jack and Diane? Oh, there is just so much danger, so much emotion, and so much history. It just had to explode like New Year's Eve fireworks from Jack and Diane's lips. Wow. I'm in heaven. Saving the best for last. My whole Y&R year has been made. It has all been worth it. The whole year leading up to that midnight kiss. Diane has a plan to return to Genoa City and take care of the Jeremy Stark problem for good. She puts on a thick layer of charm and her big smile, and she invites Jeremy out to dinner. And she tries to lure him into a sexy deal where they become Bonnie and Clyde, ripping off the podunk citizens of Genoa City together. But snap, what she's really doing is setting a trap for Jeremy, waiting for him to slip up and incriminate himself and then get shipped back to Alcatraz. She was so good at lying to him too, wasn't she? It almost makes you think that she's a really good liar and that she could be lying to Jack in the exact same way. But forget about all of that logic. Just let that go. Throw caution to the wind for 2023. Get on board with the Jack and Diane romance. Yeah, Jack and his silk scarf were listening around the corner the whole time, and it was driving him mad. Hearing her talk kind of sexy talk with his new enemy. So when Jack and Diane got home, he was all revved up with jealous passion. And so when she turned on her usual waterworks, he was ready to pounce. They held hands. They kissed. And then they broke away from the kiss. And then they kissed some more. Fade to black. Happy freaking New Year to me! Well, it's the holidays and people do all sorts of zany things. That was our Who Said It quote from last week. The answer is Billy. Billy was talking to Johnny about Chelsea wanting to give him a Christmas present, and Johnny was questioning it. And Billy said, it's the holidays. People want to do all sorts of zany things. That was a harder one than I thought it was going to be. Henry, Drew K, and Daisy were the only winners. That was very good, you guys. I didn't know it was going to be that hard, but you three guessed it. Good job. Let me see. I've got a new quote for us this year. This year, the first quote of the year. And I really like this one. I think this is beautiful. Who said this? Character isn't revealed through how we fall, but it's through how we get back up. That feels like a really good way to start off 2023. Character isn't revealed through how we fall, but it's through how we get back up. If you think you know who said that, go to yrchat.com to leave your guess. And if you get it right, I will give you your shout out during next week's Y&R Chat. Also at yrchat.com, there are a ton of awesome comments about this week's show, but I have got to read our comments from last year that were the predictions of what would happen in 2022. This is just my favorite thing that we do here at Y&R Chat. At the very beginning of the year, we give our predictions for the year, and then we look back and we see what came true and what did not come true. So I've taken some time to compile our predictions for 2022. Let's crack open this little time capsule here and see what we've got. Starting with Kidji, who predicted that Ashland was faking his illness and would turn on Victoria to try to take everything from her. Well, I would say that prediction came true. Yeah, Ashland Locke, we were doing so much speculating at the beginning of last year about Ashland and whether his feelings for Victoria were true or not. Turned out that he was pulling a little something on her, but she turned the tables on him in the end. And then who would have guessed that he would have just died? He seemed like a character that could have stuck around for years, and he was just gone. Well, Margaret says, I'm hoping that narcissistic Victoria gets her just desserts when Victor and Adam turn the tables on her and attempt to get their hands on Newman Media, and Adam ends up taking back the head of Newman Enterprises. I still feel like there's something there, Margaret. I still feel like Y&R is hinting that Victoria is going to make some kind of unwise decision, and that maybe, who knows, maybe Nick and Adam will end up fighting over the top spot in addition to fighting over Sally's baby and Sally. Well, at the beginning of the last year, there were a lot of predictions about Ray and Chelsea falling in love because they were starting to get close, and it was clear that Chelsea had eyes for him. There was a lot of prediction about Nick and Sharon reuniting. It just seemed written in the stars that that was going to happen. But then Y&R said, no, guess what? Ray's going to die. And your Nick and Sharon reunion, forget it. We're not going there until 2023. But who would have predicted that Ray was going to die? I mean, I don't know. Maybe we could have. He was getting less and less screen time, and he and Sharon were getting less and less romance time. But it just really seemed like maybe they were going to position Ray over into a relationship with Chelsea, and that is just not the direction that it went. But speaking of Sharon, Diana predicted that Sharon will finally find her long-lost father. Sharon's doing some spring cleaning when she comes across an old photo of her father that she's never seen before. Then, while on a vacation with Ray, Sharon sees a man that looks similar to the man in the photo. Sharon befriends the man and learns the love of his life was named Dolores. Ugh. Diana, can this please happen for real? I mean, why has this not happened for real? All of these years and we don't know Sharon's father. Come on. Everything you described Diana to would be a perfect reunion scenario for Nick and Sharon. So Nick and Sharon can go on the vacation and discover, or just through the process of finding Sharon's father, Nick and Sharon can fall back in love. I mean, that seems like a really good formula. And plus, then we could get a new character. We could get some more insight about Sharon's past. It's shocking that they've really never delved into Sharon's dad. But I mean, they've got to do it sometime. This is a good time for it too. This will give Sharon Case something to sink her teeth into, in addition to Nick. Well, this is a good one. Victoria predicts that a mysterious woman who is a close relative of Sage, Christian's biological mother, will come into town and set her sights on Nick. She wants to seduce Nick so that she can be close to Christian. Nick tires of her, and she develops an alternative plan. She goes to Adam and tells him that he needs to claim his rights to Christian. She and Adam hatch a plot to begin legal proceedings to get Christian back. I like that too. I hadn't thought about it, but yeah, Nick and Adam, they already have fought over one kid, and now they're getting ready to fight over another. But I love this idea, because I've had a lot of people mention lately that Christian is just so off the map. I mean, Connor's there, Johnny's there, but we don't ever see Christian. We hear about him plenty, but we don't see him very much. And yeah, he's another point of contention between Nick and Adam. And I think the idea of a mysterious relative of Sage is a really good one. Well, Sue W. says Sue W. predicts Sally will rightfully grow tired of Adam holding her at arm's length and fall into a friends with benefit relationship with a horny Nick. Boom! Sue W. Phyllis and Adam both go ballistic at this, and Adam decides to get serious and pursue Sally for real. This mucks up the already shaky new brotherly bond between Nick and Adam, and Jack, despite himself, again sees a potential relationship with Sally. Oh, you saw like a three-way battle over Sally. I mean, aside from the part about Jack, you completely nailed it. I mean, who could have predicted the sensation that has become Diane Jenkins's return to town for Jack? So, but everything else about that is so right on. That's a really good prediction. Good, solid prediction, Sue W. Tina predicted that Adam and Sally would get together, and then Connor would make Adam feel guilty make him feel guilty into going back to Chelsea. Then meanwhile, Sally becomes pregnant when Adam leaves her for Chelsea. And then Sally sleeps with Nick or Noah and tries to pin the pregnancy on one of them. Hey, by the way, I like the idea of Sally and Noah. I like the idea of Sally and Daniel. That would have been a really hot pairing too. But boy, you're dead on with a Sally pregnancy. I mean, I guess maybe it was really obvious all along and I just didn't see it, or I was in denial about it. I don't know. Hey, Ellen predicted that Chelsea is headed for the dark side, that she would become obsessed with Adam, but hide it from everyone while pretending to move on. It sort of seemed like it was going that way, didn't it? Because Chelsea's always has her eye on Adam. She didn't like that he was dating Sally. And Chelsea's always on that edge of dark side, But yeah, it seems like even right now, Chelsea is right there in between a potential triangle with Billy and Adam still. Sharita says, I can also see Chelsea flirting with Noah to try to make Adam jealous and want her again. That may lend itself to a real relationship between them. I still, Sharita, occasionally think about Noah and Chelsea and that I think they would make a good couple. I don't know why, but sometimes I've had that thought, like around Christmas when they were in the coffee house together at the same time. I was thinking, I think Chelsea and Noah would make a really good pair, and it would be good too if for some reason that really ticked Sharon off. Maybe Sharon's disapproving of Noah's girlfriend and him finding some spark with Chelsea, but that doesn't seem to be like it would be the case. Well, lots of people predicted that Mariah and Tessa would be wanting a baby so badly, and then Tessa would end up having a fling with Noah, and then she would end up getting pregnant with his baby. And that seemed like it would be, it just seemed like, oh yeah, okay, well that seems like the direction that it will go. But that didn't end up happening. Jamie predicted that we'd see a very dark Noah storyline playing out. And I think it also seemed like it was headed in that direction, too. Noah was very brooding when he first came back into town. And then I think maybe the writers saw that they didn't want to go in that direction with him. And so they popped him into this very fluffy romance. But I feel like Noah really could make a potential good villain. I mean, I don't want his darkness to be pointed at Tessa, but I think that the actor really has the chops to do some dramatic work. And so maybe there could be some kind of turn in his character if he and Allie break up. Maybe he can, I don't know. I just feel like there's more we could be doing with Noah. Well, T. Nicole predicted that Summer and Kyle would come back. And I tell you, T. Nicole, that didn't seem like it was necessarily the case at the time. So that's a good, solid prediction. Summer and Kyle kind of got unceremoniously let go. I think even their wedding took place off screen, and they were gone. We didn't quite predict that the role of Summer would be recast, but that's another one of the very pleasant surprises, I think, from 2022, the Summer recast. I really like her a lot. She works for me. Kyle and Summer work for me, although from the way that she was talking in the previews for next week, I wonder if there's going to be some trouble in paradise. Well, Sherry says, I think Nate will be saying bye-bye to Elena and hello to Imani in 2022. Gosh, have we been predicting the end of Nate and Elena for this long? Has it been coming on for this long? A whole year of Nate and Elena are nice together. But then we had the Imani, which has now been swapped out, I think, for Audra. But it seems like Y&R, it's almost like they hinted a lot of stuff last year that just didn't end up panning out. But maybe we're going to circle back around to it. Maybe they had some longer-term storyline plans that got sidelined. But it does seem like there's got to be a triangle there for Nate and Elena. Last year at this time, weren't we steeped in all of the baby Dom drama? Mary Envy predicted that Devon would go to court to get custody of Dominic, and then Mariah would side with Chance and Abby, hoping that they'll give her more time with the baby. Yeah, we didn't never get a custody battle, did we? I still sort of wonder if it's possible. Maybe Chance might want to do that, but I don't know. Maybe Y&R just decided to drop it. We spent so much time on the Dom drama that maybe they heard, they got the message and decided to drop it, which is okay with me. Elizabeth predicted that Abby would resent Devon for taking legal action against her, that he would not win the case, but then Amanda would get pregnant and Devon would put all his attention back on her and his own family. Yeah, I know, right? I mean, Devon and Amanda felt like they were going to be together forever. I really thought Michelle Morgan was back for good. But boy, yeah, pregnancy. See, if anybody was going to get pregnant, if we were going to get a baby this year, I wish it would have been Devon and Amanda. Aww. Well, Superplex predicted that Devon lost his joint custody battle in court, resulting in him spiraling out of control in a drug-addled addiction, alienating him from Amanda. Oh, okay, so we had predictions of happiness and baby, all the way to, a drug-addled addiction that alienated Devon from Amanda. You know, I think Brighton James could really pull that off. I could really maybe see Devon having a drug problem. I could totally see that. I bet that would be a compelling storyline. Samuel predicted that Devon would struggle for a while with his attachment to Dominic, but then Chance would continue to struggle as well. Samuel says, I see a Devon and Abby pairing happening sometime this year. Oh, well, you got that. You definitely got that. I don't know that I would have predicted the way it all turned out, like with Dom and his three parents. I mean, it really went. We thought custody battle. A lot of us thought custody battle, and in the end, it turned out to be just everybody getting along and being happy. I mean, who would predict that? What kind of crazy world is that in soaps where everybody gets along and doesn't fight over the baby? Well, Y&R viewer 123 predicted that Amanda would become pregnant and Devon would be very happy and they would get married after that. Yeah, again, a wedding at the end of 2022 should have been Devon and Amanda. Hey, Sue W. also said, let's get a great expansive set of Amanda and Amani's newly opened law practice as it becomes a regular backdrop for revolving around multiple interpersonal and professional dramas. Imani has become a regular character, and Faith could intern at the law office while she and Moses grow apart when he gets caught up in the lure of the party/high life music world, where he becomes increasingly involved in. Devon would be too distracted by his Dominic Abbey involvement to recognize Moses falling into a dangerous lifestyle. There could be a Faith pregnancy to add to the angst, or Faith could get sucked back into partying. That would give Nikki some rescue purpose. Oh, first of all, they did not tease that whole Amanda and Amani law office set, and then we never got it, did we? Did we ever see that set even one time? They were picking out curtains, and I don't think we ever even saw it. But more importantly, I love your idea of Faith having interned there, and Moses was poised. Faith and Moses were poised to be part of the show in 2022, and we never got it. But the idea of Moses finding himself lost in the music industry, that would have been compelling, and it could have given Devon something to do, someone to rescue if we must. Oh, that is a rich idea that just did not pan out. Well, how about Diane K., who predicted that Lily would finally see Billy for who he is, and Billy Miller would come back to save the character? Oh my goodness. Is Billy Miller still on General Hospital? No, right? He left, right? So I wonder if he's available. I've really come to enjoy Jason Thompson in the role. I think I'd be sad if that prediction had come true, but I know that Billy Miller still has a lot of fans, and he's great. It's just been so long, and I think I've adjusted to Jason Thompson in the role. He doesn't always 100% match what I feel my ideal incarnation of Billy would be. I almost think maybe he would have been better cast in a different character, but I love Jason Thompson, and I think he brings a lot to the show. How about this as far as casting? Allie predicted that Y&R would cast the role of Daniel Romalatti, and that Y&R would quietly shuffle Faith and Moses off screen. Boom! I had a dozen other predictions that didn't come true, but darn it, this one came true. How would I guess that? Daniel Romalatti. I just could feel it. I could feel him coming. Not only did they cast Daniel, but they cast him with Michael, and he is great. Gosh, he is adding so much vibe to my screen. And yeah, they just quietly hush hush. Faith and Moses, bye. Faith didn't even come home for the holiday. She was mentioned, but she didn't come home. And Moses barely got any kind of mention. So he's just gone. Not even on anybody's lips. So those are our predictions for 2022. My question now is, what are our predictions for 2023? Go to yrchat.com. There is a special post there that I am going to leave up for 2 weeks only. Because if I leave it up for any longer than that, then we tend to be predicting short-term stories. And what I'm looking for is long-term stories. I want to know where you think we're going to be in December of 2023. What does the year in Y&R look like? yrchat.com. Get in your predictions. Also, as a poll question for this week, I want to ask you what you want to see more of in 2023. I compiled a list of some of the most common, I guess I'll call it, complaints about the show, or the things that people seem to say that they want and are not getting. And I thought maybe that might make an interesting beginning of the year poll. So, for instance, a lot of people might say, hey, I think we're not getting enough plot twists here. Where's the plot twist? There's a lot of people who say, I want more classic characters. I want more new characters. I want more diversity on the show. I want more reality-based storylines. I want the couples to be shaken up. I want mystery. I want over-the-top crazy soap action. I want a villain. I have a list of the things that I've most commonly heard people saying they want more of. And so my poll question for you this week is, what of those things do you want the most more of in 2023? One more time, go to yrchat.com to leave your comments, leave your predictions, vote in that poll, and I will be back next week to talk about it all. I decided last night to have just a little family party. And so that left me a little strapped on my Y&R prep time. And then I thought, well, maybe the Y&R Chatter's gift to me for Christmas/New Year's could be me just spending one more week getting to sit in my pajamas while recording Y&R Chat. That's your gift to me, that today I didn't have to get dressed and brush my hair. Hope nobody minds 2 weeks of audio in a row, but it was for a good cause. And I will be back next week. I'm certain that you will see me fully next week, and I will see you then. I love you guys. Happy New Year! Bye!